Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Cotner. I'm the chairman of the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame, and I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. Tonight's the 8th annual induction ceremony. I'd like to offer congratulations to all the inductees and their families for coming out tonight. I'd also like to thank the members of the town council that are here tonight that support us each and every year through allowing us to do this, through lending us the town's name. And I'd like to recognize the folks that are here tonight. We have Cindy Mangini, Jason Jones, one of our liaisons, Scott Copen, another liaison, Lou Fiore, our former and best mayor, Mary Lou Strong, and our former councilperson, Peter Falk. Those folks, especially Lou Fiore and Scott Copen, have done a lot behind the scenes for this organization over the years, and their efforts certainly should be applauded. Another individual who we'd like to thank is Susan Lather from the new senior center in town. She's the director, and she, along with the council, have allowed us the opportunity to move the Hall of Fame to the senior center. If you haven't been over there, it's right next to the police station. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. All the plaques are on display there, as well as display cases, which will house all of our memorabilia. And you can see pictures of that on the Enfield.org website. Each committee member, which we have about 15, has a special niche in which they perform, whether it be the webpage, golf tournament, scholarships, banquet development, or biographies. Those folks work about 8 months to make this event happen, as well as tomorrow, our golf tournament. We're always interested in having new folks come and join our committee, as well as town residents. It's open. Feel free to touch base with myself or any of the committee members in the back. This Hall of Fame started as an idea of a young 29-year-old man, an Enfield resident, Bill Chaves, Jr., in mid-1995. It was just out of the blue that he came as to this realization of, why don't we do something and give back to the town? I grew up with Bill, and he was the Enfield director of athletics at the time, and he said, let's do it. Billy got the approval from the town council in 1996 and formed this organization. What this organization is about, it's bringing awareness of athletics and academics to our townspeople, both young and old. Every year, our committee and this organization gets calls from towns across the state wondering how we set this Hall of Fame up. Towns that have replicated this organization include Suffield, Wethersfield, East Windsor, just to name a few. Let's give Bill Chaves, who's here tonight, a round of applause. Tonight's the culmination of 10 months of planning for this event and tomorrow's golf tournament held at Oak Ridge Country Club. These are our major fundraisers of the year, and we appreciate your support. In past, the Hall of Fame has given out 14 scholarships over the past 7 years to 2 Fermi and Enfield seniors. Education and awareness is the key to the Hall of Fame's success. Participation in athletics and good grades can open up doors in a person's life. This is my 11-year-old son's second induction ceremony tonight. After tonight, he may realize that playing sports and getting good grades will develop a well-rounded person, regardless if he excels on the playing field or not. Moving to our MC. As you know, Leah Secondo was scheduled to be our MC. Unfortunately for us, but fortunately for her, she's broadcasting tonight's game, WNBA, Connecticut Sun, for playoffs, so she will not be able to be here tonight. However, she sent a letter that I'd like to read for you. Dear Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, 2003 inductees and guests, I was looking forward to seeing all of you tonight. However, I'm not able to attend due to a wonderful run by the Connecticut Sun. The WNBA franchise with whom I am employed to announce their games on radio. It is any broadcaster's dream to be able to announce playoff or championship games. As this letter is read, we are in the midst of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. My contractual obligations require me to work this evening. I honestly believe we were a good year away from making the conference title and possibly WNBA crown. The Sun are a testament to all of us on how, if you have the desire and drive, you can achieve your goals, regardless of how others perceive you. I'd like to extend my congratulations to the class of 2003 and many thanks to the committee for their dedication in making the Hall of Fame a success. I hope to see all of you at next year's dinner. I am donating tonight as a special gift an autographed basketball from the team. And those of you who haven't seen it out front, we are raffling that off, and all the money from that event will go benefit the Hall of Fame. Regards, Leah Savanda. Tonight's MC, I'd like to introduce you, is a Hall of Fame committee for the past 5 years. He's also a national internet radio personality. Tim has been with the Hall of Fame in many leadership roles. Please welcome Tim Jensen.
Thank you, Mike. Good evening, everybody. I host a show called Legends on cyberstationusa.com. I play the greatest artists of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every single week. But I'm an Enfield guy. And to me, being an athlete growing up here in Enfield, these are the real legends, right around here. The great athletes that made this town and make this town today as great as it is. And I'm very, very honored to be standing here in front of you and able to present you folks into the Hall of Fame tonight. Before we get started, Mike touched earlier on the town council and how instrumental they've been in the development of this Hall of Fame, financially and support-wise. And I'd like to at this time introduce our two town council liaisons to the committee, Scott Copen and Lou Fiore, with greetings from the town.
Well, unlike last year where Scott and I had to do a dog and pony show, we did not forget the proclamation this year. So we're going to start off here. The proclamation honoring the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame, class of 2003. Whereas the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame was established in 1996 to recognize past and present individuals who have made a significant athletic contribution to the town of Enfield. And whereas the class of 2003 inductees to the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame consist of Joseph Golis, John Urban, Dick Nelson, Donna K. Neese, and Kelly Morton. And whereas the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame Committee will also honor Mark Burnell with the George Daly Special Recognition Award.
And whereas inductees and award recipients will be honored at the 7th annual induction ceremony to be held on September 5th, 2003 at the Radisson Hotel in Enfield, Connecticut. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, William R. Veda, Mayor, on behalf of the town of Enfield and its citizens, do hereby congratulate the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2003 inductees and the George Daly Special Recognition Award recipient. And be it further resolved that I hereby declare September 5th, 2003 to be Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame Day in the town of Enfield. Signed by William R. Veda, Mayor, on September 5th, 2003.
I mentioned earlier that I grew up as an athlete here in the town of Enfield. And there was a young guy that I played baseball and hockey with named Brian Daly. Brian's dad, George, was one of the original Hall of Fame committee members. In fact, he was the first chairman of the nomination committee, and he was instrumental in researching many of the biographies of the Hall of Fame candidates. Sadly, George passed away just 3 days before the first Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 1996. In 1997, the Hall of Fame Committee established an annual Special Recognition Award in George's memory. Here to present the George Daly Special Recognition Award is George's widow, Elena.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for inviting me. George had a true passion for sports. He encouraged our children to be active in sports. He felt it taught them discipline, and it gave them confidence. He spent quality time with them. He was at every practice and every game. He enjoyed watching them play, win or lose. He gave them the greatest gift, his love, support, and encouragement. My family and I want to thank the committee for naming the Special Recognition Award in George's memory. He enjoyed the time he spent researching the potential nominees for the Enfield Hall of Fame. I want to extend my sincere congratulations to all of the inductees here tonight. Thank you.
The 2003 recipient of the George Daly Special Recognition Award is Mark Burnell. Mark is a Fermi High School graduate from 1991. At the age of 12, he began competing in numerous Special Olympics events. He excels at track and field, bowling, softball, and especially soccer. Soccer is his real passion. He was one of the first people to sign up when Enfield began a soccer program for the Special Olympics, and he developed his skills so well that he ended up becoming a member of the 1995 unified soccer team for the World Games, which were held down in New Haven, Connecticut. The Connecticut team came in second place in those games. He works at the Allied Rehabilitation Center now and continues to compete in numerous sports. The 2003 George Daly Special Recognition Award winner, Mark Burnell.
Thank you. All right. Hello? Hello? My name is Mark Burnell. I've been a Special Olympics athlete for 23 years. I love to play soccer, softball, and basketball, and my favorite one is bowling. And I want to thank everyone for this great award and the honor of being the Enfield Stars Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. I forgot something else. Actually, I do love my mom and dad for coaching me all this weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And now for some very important words, dinner is served.
Ladies and gentlemen, this slideshow was put together by Stan Danya. Patrick.
Where's your music?
Go, Pat.
front. Every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy I want to go and play hide and seek. I want to go and bounce the moon just like a toy balloon. Run across the meadow, picking up lots of forget-me-nots. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung. When I'm old and gray, I'm not feeling the way I do today. 'Cause you make me feel so young. You make me feel so young. You make me feel so young. You make me feel so young.
The time has arrived. We have 5 new inductees going into the Hall of Fame this evening. Before we induct those 5, though, there's a bunch of people that came before them. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence this evening of some of the Hall of Famers who have come back to join us again on the occasion of the 2003 inductees. When I call your name, would you please stand? Howie Brummage. Phil Clarkin. Paul De Silva. Marion Dipple. Bob Keller. Mike Malfa. Bob Mersick. Iggy Murawski. Matt Pliska. Amy Romano. Jack Solomon. Fran Slattery. Bill Spanswick. Bill Teague. And Dick Vining. 15 former Hall of Famers have joined us tonight. On a more serious note, since we've all last gathered, we've also lost a few of the Hall of Famers, and I did want to mention who they were. We lost Phil Blaney, Coach Joe Lamanna, and from the 1948 Enfield High football team, John Westberg. So just wanted to remember those fine gentlemen. And now to this year's class, 5 more people to join the impressive roster of Enfield greats. To start off, Very, very short story. I got a call. I graduated in 1983 from Fermi. How many Fermi people? We're the minority because we only had a Fermi, right? All right. All the rest is, we've only been around for 30 years, I know, but I graduated from Fermi in 1983, and that fall I got a call from a friend of mine who was a senior at Enfield High School, my buddy Tom, and he said, "You want to go to a game?" I said, "What kind of a game?" He said, "A field hockey game." Well, I know 3 things about field hockey. Number 1, they all hit the ball the wrong way. They hold it this way. You know, I'm as a hockey player, I shoot left-handed. You know, they're all hitting it with this way. Can't do that. I knew that they hit it the wrong way. Number 2, they all wore skirts, which I certainly never done and hopefully never will. And third, the whistle blows every 10 seconds whether it needs to or not. That's all I knew about field hockey, but Tom had a girl on the Enfield High team that he thought was really cute. He wanted to go see him play a game, so he dragged me along. The game was at Choate School down in Wallingford. And I left that game knowing 4 things about field hockey. They still held the sticks on the wrong way. They wore skirts no matter how cold it was because the wind must have been 40 miles an hour out there. I mean, I was freezing with jackets on. They're out there in skirts. I give them a lot of credit. Tough, tough. I still didn't know why the whistle kept blowing every 10 seconds. But the 4th thing that I knew when I left that game was that Enfield High School had just won its first of what was to become 5 Class M state championships. They won that championship down at the Choate School in 1983. And one of the catalysts of that team is somebody we're going to present into the Hall of Fame this evening. Cookie Bromwich, who was the coach of that team, who was a charter member of the Hall of Fame, can't be here tonight. They're at a tournament up in Maine, and she was very upset about not being able to be here. And I talked to her on the phone this morning, and she said she'd like to drop me off a very, very short note she'd like me to read about Kelly Brantner. Anybody that knows Cookie, this is her short note. Actually, no, that's not it, but it probably could have been. This is her short note, and I'll just read parts of it. Kelly Brantner was a benchmark for modern athletics in our school system. She set extremely high standards for herself and everyone that she influenced. Kelly was a role model for other athletes. She was a main factor in the rich tradition and success of our field hockey program and all sports that she participated in. She was an exceptionally talented athlete. She was quick and highly skilled. Kelly also excelled in basketball and softball. She not only led her teams with her knowledge and ability, but she was also a great leader as a captain. I can remember asking her to be our captain in basketball and field hockey as early as her sophomore year. Most people are only captains as a senior. She was already thinking of Kelly's leadership ability when she was a sophomore. She was shy and very modest about the role of captain at that time. She did an outstanding job. She was also an exceptional student. She always took the advanced level classes, and Cookie's husband, Bob Brumage, another Hall of Famer, said that he had her in calculus, and he always commented about her unbelievable work ethic. I'm sorry that I cannot be at the Hall of Fame banquet tonight to congratulate all of the inductees, especially Kelly, because of their preseason field hockey trip to Maine. She says she's so proud of Kelly and is so happy that she's being inducted into the prestigious Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame. She is truly one of Enfield's very best. And coming from Cookie, who knows? I mean, anybody knows Enfield, it's Cookie. It's very high praise indeed. First inductee for the 2003, being presented by 1997 Hall of Famer Amy Romano, Kelly Brantner Morton.
I didn't think I was going to be first tonight. I didn't really prepare for this, so I'll make it very short. There's a few people I want to thank for this. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents. There was 4 of us in the family. I grew up with 3 brothers, and we're all within 5 years of each other. So every spring, when baseball came around, all 4 of us had a game on a different team at a different field at the same time. And my poor mother got us all there, and she had schedules of what time we had to pick up each kid, and the oldest kid went the earliest and got picked up the last. So poor Mitch, sorry, he was always the last one picked up. Secondly, I really want to thank Fran Slattery. He encouraged me a little bit more when I was 9 years old, going out for the Little League team, the boys' Little League team. And I didn't know if I'd stick with it or not, but both Fran and Jerry really accepted me and accepted what I could do for the team and didn't treat me any different than anyone else that was on the team. And that meant a lot to me. And lastly, I want to thank everybody I played with. I mean, I played on several teams. And Amy, unfortunately, went to the other high school. I played against her a lot. But we played a lot in town leagues together, and it was a great bunch of girls. And I think that, we were the first girls. We were the first time Enfield ever recognized girls' teams as being competitive. And it was really nice. So I just want to thank everybody I've ever played with on all the teams, and especially the Brummages, because they did so much for me, not only in coaching me, but also in my academics. Bob did a tremendous job. They both helped me choosing a college. So I want to just thank everybody that was involved in my career throughout my life. And my daughter wants me to thank her, but unfortunately she wasn't there. Thank you very much.
In 1984, I coached the Senior League Championship team, and it was one of the biggest thrills of my life. Imagine coaching championship teams 8 or 9, 10 times. I can't even begin to imagine how that would be. But that's what Joe Golas did. Beginning with the 10 to 12 age group in 1936, Joe won championships in 36, 37, in the early 40s, into 1943, right up until the time that he went into the Navy in 1944 during World War II. After that, he came back and coached American Legion baseball to second place finishes twice. Joe coached many of our future Hall of Famers, some of whom are here in this room right now. Bob Keller, Dick Vining, Matt Pliska, as well as others, the late Joe LaManna. He was considered to be a hard but fair taskmaster who took a bunch of little kids and taught them that if they believed in themselves, that they could beat anybody. Being presented by one of his former players, 1998 Hall of Famer Dick Vining. Please welcome 2003 inductee Joe Golas.
Thank you. I am honored and humbled to be inducted into the Enfield Sports Hall of Fame. It was 70 years ago that I organized the Murdochs, a youthful and a very promising club. It was the love of baseball that started it all, a lifelong love of the sport and its competition, winning the championship that we were after back then. It gave us all a sense of belonging, believing in a cause, and working together to have that happen. Looking back from these 81-year-old eyes, it provided me with much more, with lifelong friendships and with great memories, and I do mean great memories. It taught me 3 things that I used in my job at the post office and in my family. The first one being, always keep your eye on the ball, no matter rewards lack of retention. 2, always be fair. People will return the same fairness. 3, always do your best. It's the only way to have peace of mind and to have a dream come true. Thank you for this honor, and thanks to the organizers of this event, namely Mr. Kotner, the nominating committee that are seated out there, and Tim Jensen for the proper introduction. It keeps sports, traditions, and values alive in the town of Enfield that would otherwise be lost with each passing life. God bless.
I'm going to tell you something that only a few people in this room will actually believe because they saw it. In high school, when I weighed 142 pounds, that was approximately 103 pounds ago, I was a distance runner. Go ahead and laugh. It's okay. You can laugh. Scott Copeland, Mike Kotner are high school classmates of mine. They can tell you I was very fast at one time. Long time ago, 20 years ago. I deserve that. I ran for Fermi under Coach Gene Reisig, and one of the things he would have us do for practice when we didn't have a meet to run for a couple of days, he'd give us what we called the dreaded Kennedy route. Starting at Fermi, running down North Maple Street, down Raffia, all the way past JFK, out to Town Farm Road, to Broadbrook Road, to probably the middle of Summers, for all we know, and back to Fermi. It was about 8.5 miles. We hated it. We cursed them all the way, except for the times where we had our buddies out there to give us rides. But anyway, it happened once in a while until the day that Coach Reisig caught us. The reason I bring that up is that was 8.5 miles, and even though we were young and in shape, that was quite a thing. Now multiply that distance by 3. Okay, a little more than 3 actually, 26 miles. Can you imagine running 26 miles a marathon, any of us there? I know I certainly can't. Can anybody? How about running a marathon of 26 miles after having bicycled for 112? And having bicycled 112 after swimming 2.5. I could do 2.5 laps in my pool, but not 2.5 miles. 2.5 miles swimming, 112-mile bike race, and a 26-mile marathon back to back to back. It's called the Ironman Triathlon. Donna Kaynes is a 4-time overall amateur champion in the Hawaii Ironman Triathlon, including setting the course record of just under 10 hours in 1993. 4-time overall national amateur champion and 2-time USA Triathlon Female Athlete of the Year. Being presented by 2002 Hall of Famer Marion Dippo, it's my privilege to introduce our next inductee, Donna Kaynes.
It's an honor and a privilege to be inducted into the Enfield Athletic Hall of Fame this evening and become one of an elite group of individuals. I want to thank Tim Jensen, Howard Bromage, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Mike Kotner, and the rest of the committee members for following my accomplishments, putting my name on the election ballot, and nominating me for induction into the Hall of Fame. I would like to take this opportunity to talk about why and how I became involved in the sport of triathlon. I was always active as a child, but didn't get involved in competitive athletics until after or once I was in high school. I tried swimming, but I was in the slowest lane and discouraged with my progress. So that only lasted 1 year. Gymnastics was offered as a club sport,
but was not a competitive sport in high school. However, it did pique my interest, so I pursued it. Later, I joined a private club team, and then in my senior year in high school, I joined the diving team as I was unable to continue the private gymnastics due to financial reasons. I pursued gymnastics in college since I dreaded getting in the cold water, getting out of the cold water and then waiting for my next dive to go into the cold water. I love the sport of gymnastics, but I didn't have the strength to control my flexibility. For those of you that remember Olga Corbett, I actually could bend just like she could. Not anymore, however. My junior year in college, I was in search of a sport that I could continue doing over my lifetime. At that time, in the early 80s, the sport of triathlon was very new, but the Hawaii Ironman was being televised and the sport was gaining notoriety. I knew I could swim, I could bike, and I could run, and I was in awe of the Ironman athletes' abilities and determination. So I figured, why not give it a try? After a few years of base building, I began to reap the benefits of hard work, consistency, and dedication in the sport of triathlon. I remember a big performance boost or increase from 1988 to 1989, and some of my fellow competitors would ask me, what was I doing differently? I believe fitness is accumulative. Therefore, if you maintain a solid aerobic base throughout the year, you can build from that base to reach your goals. I also believe goal setting is very important in achieving results. My message is this: sometimes it takes time to find your niche or find what you excel at. And if you don't give it a fair try, you'll never know. So for all of you athletes, coaches, and others with different types of goals, never say never, follow your heart, reach for the stars, stay healthy, well, and fit for a lifetime. I would also like to thank my current sponsor, Timex, for their product sponsorship. But most of all, I'd like to thank my husband, Eric, and my daughter, Kirsten, for their unwavering support, love, and encouragement throughout the years. Without them, I would not be here tonight. Thank you.
One thing that I had forgotten to mention about Donna, and I apologize, if you look in your program under her biography, you see that she was a four-time overall national amateur champion, 1997, 99, 2000, 2001. Notice that there's 1 year missing in there, 1998. She didn't win that year because she didn't compete, and there's a reason. Kirsten? She was busy having Kirsten in 1998. It's the only year she didn't win in that 5-year span, so congratulations. How many times have you heard somebody yell, "Kill the umpire"? Too many times. I was umpire-in-chief for the Thompsonville Little League for 1 year. Never again. Oh my God. The parents, the coaches, the kids, it was unbelievable. Now I have kids on my own. Someday I'm going to get revenge on those guys. Our next inductee, you can see in the slideshow, had to deal with a lot of that kind of stuff over the years. Dick Nelson. Dick Nelson was an Enfield man, went to Enfield High School in the early 50s. 1970, he went into professional umpire school and got the Outstanding Student Award. I believe there was a picture up there of him receiving that award from the Al Summer School. He worked in the minor leagues, AA, AAA, for 4 years. Worked the All-Star games, did the playoffs, which is quite a feat for people to be chosen to work. There's only a select few that get to work those games. He worked spring training for the Major League Baseball's American League in 1978. And then in 1979, he got the big call to the major leagues. Unfortunately, he fell ill that year and had to retire. So he got into supervision of major league umpires. For 18 years, he supervised the development of major league umpires. Of the 65 current major league umpires, Dick helped develop 58 of them, as well as over 20 Japanese league umpires. He's being presented tonight by a member of the charter induction class of 1996, former Red Sox pitcher Bill Spanswick. It's my privilege to introduce 2003 inductee Dick Nelson.
Thank you very much. I would like to congratulate the class of 2003 and let you know it's an honor and a privilege to be part of that class. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me, and in particular, Mr. Brumage and his wife for nominating me. Been around a long time, and 20 years in the military and baseball, and I gotta tell you, this is greatest night of my life. I worked hard all my life, and I owe it to Mom and Dad. We lost Mom and Dad a couple of years ago, and I know they're looking. I'm sorry. I know they're looking down. And I thank them for the values that they gave us as kids. Showed us the way, gave us integrity and honesty. And I thank them for it. I never intended to come back here because I was living out west. In a few years, Mom and Dad got sick, and I came back. And I actually was going to go back west when they got well. And I met this beautiful lady. She's my Hall of Fame. And I thank her, my fiancée, Mary Rowan. I have 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons, and 12 grandkids and 6 great-grandkids. I'm that old. My son Guy and his lady Jane are here tonight, and I want to thank them for coming. I want to thank them for putting up with the dad. Being gone all the time and refereeing and umpiring baseball and football and basketball. And you're why I'm here. I'm not known as Dick Nelson around here. I'm known as John Nelson's brother. And I want to thank my brother John and his wife Earl, my sister Jackie and her husband Jerry. I want to thank Mary's family, Karen, Kathleen and John, Sheila and Dan, Ed and Kim. Just can't thank you enough that, they've made me part of their family. And I thank Billy and Bonnie and Ray and Barbara and Eric and Charlie. I'll tell you a story about Eric. We're going to play golf tomorrow. We played last week in the Bobby Burke tournament. He was having a tough time, and he said, "What's wrong with my golf game, Dick?" So I thought about it all week. Your problem is you're standing too close to the ball after you hit it. Told you I'd get you. But I never imagined I'd ever be an umpire. I coached Little League and Pony League and out west, and I hated umpires. I really did. And not proud of it, but I was handcuffed and taken off the field one day. But I went to watch a buddy's son play Pony League, and one of the umpires didn't show up, and they asked for volunteers, and I volunteered. And gee, I liked that. You know, it was fun. It was like being part of the game. So I went to umpire school, and I think I did well, and advanced through the minor leagues, and had my share of problems. Made it to the major leagues, and that's an honor. It really is. It's exciting. It's a challenge. A lot of travel. You're seldom home. I mean, from spring training in March until October, you're probably not home a week. Nowadays, it's a little bit different. Every 7 weeks, they get a week off because of the new change. But it was a thrill. Other than spring training, my first big league game was in Fenway Park. And my family had never seen the umpire. Excuse me. So there I am on TV. First batter up. I call him first pitch to strike, and he gives me a rational, you know what. And we get into it, and I end up throwing him out of the game. And I didn't know it later, but my brother and father were sitting in front of the TV, and my dad yelling, "Hit the son of a gun!" Yeah. But I can't tell you what this means to me. This is the apex of my career right here. To be with people like you and hometown friends. Thank you. When I umpired and supervised for all the years, had a saying as I left the locker room, and I leave you with that saying tonight: God bless, work hard, have fun. Thank you.
Can't follow that one. Good night, folks. Wow. No. We have one more inductee this evening. John Urban. John Urban was one of the greatest pitchers in the Pioneer Valley in the 30s, 40s. He led Enfield High School to the Valley Wheel Championship, team captain, batted cleanup, led the league in strikeouts, struck out 2/3 of the batters in some of the games. Like many of the guys at that era, he had to decline an opportunity to get into minor league ball and go to work over at Bigelow Sanford, where he continued his career, played for the AAA championship teams on 2 occasions in the 1940s, always led the league in strikeouts, and at one time pitched a no-hitter. He had the privilege in an exhibition game of being a teammate of Yogi Berra and pitching to Babe Ruth. He also was an outstanding duckpin bowler, and we saw a picture on the slideshow of him with the Bigelow Sanford bowling team. Johnny could not be with us tonight. We saw the picture of him accepting his award from Stan Dynia earlier this week. Here to accept on his behalf tonight is 1996 Hall of Famer Iggy Murawski.
I'm honored to receive the Hall of Fame plaque for John Urban, who is unable to be with us this evening. John thanks the Hall of Fame committee for honoring him. There's a few excerpts. John and I played with St. Albert's in the late 30s in the Western Mass Tri-County League. We also played with the Savage Gems, and that was one of the nights that John got beamed. And I was honored to take him to St. Francis Hospital, but after the observations, he was released. And he also told me that he pitched the next day. That's remarkable. No headache. I saw John pitch a great game for the Bigelow Sanford against the New York, New Haven, and Hartford team in the AAA League, where he beat them by 6-3. And that was some of the greatest ball players out of Springfield area, like Carr, Danny Sullivan, Tuck Sullivan, Ray Fitzgerald, and Art Murphy. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Iggy. I'd like to, at this time, have one more round of applause for all of the new class of 2003. They've joined, just added to the legacy of Enfield Athletics, which is extensive and continues. There are great things happening today in Enfield Athletics. Future Hall of Famers that are now in their early 20s. Not going to get into any names, but a lot of us know somebody who should be in the Hall of Fame or should be worthy of consideration. If you know of anybody that is not in the Hall of Fame that should be, contact any of the committee members or myself. Mike Cotner, the chairman, his number is in the program. There's a lot of deserving people out there that we on our committee may not be aware of. So every year we come up with some just incredible finds, like a Dick Nelson, a Donna Kane, Kelly Brantner. Just unbelievable that names can come to us at any time from the past, from modern days. So please get involved. Let us know. We welcome people to join our committee. It's a great committee. We have a good time, like Mike was telling you earlier. And let's continue to have induction ceremonies like this one with these truly deserving athletes. I'd like to ask founder of the Hall of Fame right now, Bill Chaves Jr. to come up, perhaps say a couple of words, and to draw our raffle prize winner.
I want to say a quick congratulations to all the inductees tonight. I know I'll be listening to the internet to listen to Tim do his show at some point in time. And we'll make this real brief because I want to go see the Red Sox beat the heck out of the Yankees.
Okay, get your raffle prizes out, your raffle tickets out. I would like to say thank you to Leah Secondo, who could not be here tonight. As Mike had outlined, she's broadcasting the Connecticut Sun's victory, hopefully this evening. And also to Jim Malley, who you saw when you came in the door today, whose dad, Ed Malley, a lot of you probably remember, who put together a terrific book of photos of Enfield history from 1950 to 1980. Jimmy donated a book of Enfield history, and we have an autographed basketball from the Connecticut Sun, which we will draw a winner of right now.
I know, shake it up.
470396.
396. All right, in back.
Sam Fiore, ladies and gentlemen, our big winner. In closing, I'd also like to say thank you to Walt Shermer, who once again, for probably the 8th year in a row, is here taping the festivities for Cox Cable. Be sure to tune in the coming months. Maybe in a month, 2 months, 1 month, week from next Tuesday. Very soon, Walt will edit up our tape, and it'll be airing on Cox Channel 15, a local access channel for those of you in this area. Also, we'd like to say thank you to all of the sponsors that are noted in our program tonight. Please patronize our sponsors. They've been very generous to us in helping to make this Hall of Fame, continue to support us. And we look forward to seeing a whole lot of you tomorrow at Oak Ridge. 11 a.m. is when lunch starts. I thank you again. I thank you again for joining us. Please stay, have a couple of drinks, mingle, and relive the old times. Thank you very much, and good night, everybody.
How about another round of applause for our MC, Tim Jensen. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next year.